A cordial greeting. Today is Saturday, October 19, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it is 9 a.m. local time in Haiti, Cuba, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the Bahamas, where you should be paying close attention to the evolution and progress of Invest 94. In this video, I will be discussing the forecast related to this disturbance, which looks more organized this morning and could bring heavy rains affecting Haiti, eastern Cuba, southern Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. But before I get into that, I briefly wanted to mention that Tropical Storm Nadine has formed and is already near Belize, moving over parts of northern Guatemala and southern Mexico over the weekend. If you want to know more details about this forecast, I invite you to check out a video I recorded earlier this morning. Without further ado, let's focus on the area where Invest 94 is currently located, just north of the Dominican Republic. Judging by the visible satellite imagery, the circulation has become more compact and stronger this morning, and it is likely developing a defined low-level center of circulation. As a result, this disturbance appears close to becoming a tropical depression. It is now very near the Turks and Caicos Islands, so it's important to stay vigilant for updates from the National Hurricane Center. It is projected to maintain a westward track over the next 24 hours before moving southwest, eventually passing near or over parts of eastern Cuba. Early next week, it is expected to move north-northeast, affecting parts of central and southern Bahamas. At the moment, the disturbance's cloud cover remains north of the Dominican Republic. However, some showers could affect the northern coast of the country, but fortunately, the rainfall for the Dominican Republic should not be significant, with the most important impacts staying to the north of the region. Let's take a look at the infrared satellite animation, where we can see that the center of circulation has generated strong thunderstorms this morning and has also developed some outer bands in the northern quadrant of the circulation. These are signs of cyclonic organization, which has led the National Hurricane Center to increase the chances of development to 60% as of 8 a.m. as it moves west-southwest. As you can see, the area of potential development extends from the north of the Dominican Republic and Haiti to the southern Bahamas and near the eastern coast of Cuba, so it is important for residents in this area to monitor its progress. The latest trajectory model projections generally agree that it will maintain a westward motion with a slight southwestward component over the next 48 hours, crossing over the Turks and Caicos Islands and southern Bahamas and potentially approaching parts of eastern Cuba. We cannot rule out the possibility of it entering Cuban territory. By Monday or Tuesday, it will start to move northeast, impacting some islands in the southern Bahamas. While there is a chance it could strengthen into a tropical storm, as shown by some intensity model projections, the good news is that conditions are not very favorable for significant strengthening. At worst, we anticipate a weak or moderate tropical storm. If this disturbance does get classified as a tropical storm, it would be named Tropical Storm Oscar. Let's look at some of the global model projections. Starting with the American model, the GFS, we see Invest 94 passing over the Turks and Caicos Islands and eventually approaching eastern Cuba. However, in the latest run, this model keeps the system relatively weak, and it is not until it moves near Bermuda by mid-next week that it shows any significant cyclonic development. Under this scenario, the GFS model projects wind gusts of 30 to 50 km per hour that could affect the Turks and Caicos Islands, southern Bahamas, and parts of eastern Cuba, but the wind extent will be quite limited, so we don't anticipate major problems related to these winds. Importantly, note that the strongest winds will remain to the north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, so they should not be concerned about these effects. However, there could be significant rainfall. For example, the GFS model projects 75 to 100 millimeters of accumulated rain in parts of eastern Cuba, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and some islands in the southern Bahamas. We also have the European model projection, which is generally very similar to the GFS, except that it does develop a tropical depression or tropical storm before entering eastern Cuba on Sunday night. It then takes a more north-northeastward turn, eventually affecting parts of the southern Bahamas by Tuesday night, perhaps as a tropical depression or weak tropical storm. By Thursday, the circulation moves near or just east of Bermuda. Under this scenario, the European model does project more rainfall than the GFS model, with some areas seeing accumulations of over 150 millimeters, and in some places, up to 300 millimeters, particularly over parts of southern Bahamas and eastern Cuba. Therefore, it is important to stay alert to the movement of Invest 94. The German model also agrees with the trajectory over the Turks and Caicos Islands but does not bring it to eastern Cuba. In this case, it diverts it into the Atlantic quite quickly by Tuesday morning. Lastly, the GFS ensemble members show that few develop a tropical depression, and it is not until Tuesday or Wednesday when it starts to move away from the Caribbean. In contrast, the European ensemble members mostly show a tropical depression, with some showing a tropical storm when it moves near or over eastern Cuba and then moves northeast, strengthening as it crosses over the southern Bahamas Islands. In fact, some members show a moderate tropical storm, so it's also important that Bermuda keeps an eye on its progress in the long term. Well, that's all for the forecast update on Invest 94. Here at Hurricane Info, we will continue to monitor its progress, as well as the developments related to Tropical Storm Nadine. To ensure you don't miss these videos, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell to receive notifications when I post new videos. For now, I'll sign off, but if necessary, I'll record another video later this afternoon or evening. See you later.